everybody. Welcome to the 192nd episode of Super Joystick Radio, a weekly gathering of friends here to talk about all things video games. My name is Andy Halder, and I'm joined by one of my favorite party members, Justin D.
Hey, everybody. Good morning.
Today, we'll be discussing our E3 2021 predictions.
Woo-hoo!
Woo-hoo! We'll go through the scheduled conferences and cover what's being confirmed, or what's been confirmed, as well as what we'd love to see. But first, what have we been playing? Justin, should we both take it off?
I think we should.
Our clothes? Nah, let's leave them on.
That's our OnlyFans.
I think there's a new Twitch category for that.
Nice.
Get out your tub.
Yeah, get out my tub
pool.
and put on a bikini top. Play some Minecraft.
Watch those subscribes skyrocket.
Yep. Hit like or subscribe if you like what you see.
No, but we happen to be playing the same game lately.
And we have been.
Which is?
Biomutant.
Biomutant.
Yes.
Brand new, just came out not last week, but the week prior, like Friday or something like that, was it?
Yep. I think it was, it was Tuesday.
Tuesday. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. The traditional day. Unless you're Nintendo, and then Friday.
Right.
Or a couple other companies do that too. But yeah, so just right at the top, I want to give a shout out to our friends over at THQ Nordic who published the game. They did get over a review code for SJR. So spoiler alert, I was going to buy it anyways. And Justin actually did. So we're still supporting the company, so that's good. And I just wanted to thank you guys for that. And we did have, just off the top, at the top also, we did have some variable performance issues. So we have some different perspectives to talk about on that. But before we get into that, well, that'll be later anyways. Let's talk about the story. What'd you think?
I did think it was a little busy. I kind of felt like here in the game itself, there's a lot just going on. You know, you have the storyline of the fractured tribes, then you've got the world eaters and the world tree. You have this sort of, underarching kind of storyline about, your village being destroyed by the main bad guy and your mother dying from it. And there was just a bunch of, and also spoiler alert, but like, obviously you're a mutant that's, running around by yourself. Your mom dies. Spoiler alert. But like that scene where she dies, like, I'm like, you could have got her, bro. Like, you could have kept swimming. Like, why did you stop?
He's like a little kid though at that point.
But he was like, death is inevitable for everyone. And he's like, so what? Mom had a good run at it.
I don't know. I don't think he could have gotten her. He could barely swim. He had to ride on her back. And she sunk, right? She drowned.
She did, but he was like, I'm like 2 feet away. Oh, I almost got you, Mom.
I'm just saying, if he's not strong enough to swim by himself, how is he going to pull her out, right?
All right. I guess he just learned to swim that day.
But he still rode on her back.
Yeah. Well, that part, yes. But then he swam to shore by himself. All good.
That's true.
So I mean, it just feels like somebody in the while they were making this game was like, hey, I've got this great idea, and then someone else was like, hey, I've got this great idea, and then another person was like, hey, I've got this great idea, and they tried to mesh everything together, and it just feels a bit too busy, in my opinion. I feel like the story could have been a bit more concise. It could have just picked like one plot point and ran with it. Like the world is ending because of these mutants or whatever like that. Cool.
Well, the world has ended, is what it sounds
but
right?
It's going to happen again
because this is like the post-apocalyptic world thing.
It's a post-apocalyptic of a post-apocalyptic,
right? Yeah. So I agree with you. I think it does seem busy. There's a lot to follow. There's all these different tribes, and they all have different, I mean, that's part of the main story is like convincing them to like join your cause and all that kind of stuff. Right. But yeah, it did seem like there's a lot going on.
The opposite way and eliminating them. Survival of the fittest.
Right. Yeah. So there's that too. But
did you go asshole or did you go good guy?
I'm trying to go straight up good guy, which is what I usually choose. But I do like the fact that you can, which we'll talk about a little bit more in a few minutes here. But I do like the fact that you can go full on evil too if you want.
Yep.
You
can
cool.
like, straight up KOTOR it.
Yeah.
Yes. And it obviously impacts the amount of the abilities they can have too. So that I do find that kind of a cool aspect. Because that changes your psi powers. Like you'll get like based upon your good side or light side, good side or dark side, you'll have different abilities. I will say the one thing that really annoyed me, and I kind of want to tie this to the story, is there is just one voice. 99.99% of this entire story is told through the perceived perception of the narrator. Like he translates everyone's talking. He doesn't actually it's not even like a full good translation or anything like that. It's like he summarizes it for you.
Yeah. Well, and so all the creatures that you meet are speaking gibberish basically, or to us because we can't understand it. Does our character understand what they're saying, or because sometimes it seems like the narrator's talking to the character? Did you notice that?
I didn't know.
Okay, I felt like that. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, I mean I don't know. I get it. Like it was kind of charming at the beginning, but it does become a lot very quickly.
Yeah, you have to tone that down. Luckily, they gave us a slider for narrator.
Yeah,
which I thought was funny.
Well, and there's a bunch of settings that just came out in a PC patch that's going to be coming to the consoles pretty soon, where you can basically like turn off the narrator, but you can also adjust like the length of the gibberish, or like turn it down all the way or something like that. So it's and the transition between the gibberish gibberish text and the narrator text is reduced.
Yeah.
So that's nice too. So there's a lot of cool like quality of life things about that. But yeah, I agree with you. It gets old. It would have been nice to have
them all fully voiced. Like honestly, right. I mean, I don't know. To me personally, I just felt like it took away like the soul to the story to a degree. Just because when you don't have these characters that are fully like you have some person that does understand it all, well then why don't we as a person just understand it? Like if we have one person that's telling us what it is, I feel like it was just maybe it was something that they ran into, especially during COVID, that they weren't able to get to people together for this, or maybe they just didn't have the budget for it. But
I was thinking running out of budget maybe, because that's a typical thing that happens with games, especially voiceover is like the last thing it seems like people budget for.
Yeah. And which is unfortunate, because I think like the story really needed. I love the voice lines of light and darkness, because they pop up occasionally whenever you do something either light or dark. But yeah, just having the one voice is, to me, I've gone through the sliders. I've turned him down a little bit, turned off how frequent he talks. So that is something that is controllable, but I just feel like it ultimately doesn't. It takes away the personality of the game. Like I kind of want everyone to have like a quirky voice. They're all fucking animals, man. Like this is the first time you really get to hear like an animal have like a voice, and like you would just think like, oh, this would be kind of cool.
And they do have different like gibberish voices, but yeah, it'd be nice to hear like actual words. Sure. Side note on that, I don't know where else this would fit, but with the options, there is a plethora of options, which I was very impressed with. It's very thorough, because a lot of times you just go into a game and there's like, a handful, but there's a whole bunch of cool stuff, especially, I feel like maybe even more on the PS5, because they've got like the frame locking. You can lock it to they say lock, but you can have it at 60 or lock it to 30. You can adjust the sharpness and everything, and like the blur and a whole bunch of things on there. And then the audio too. There's like a million different audio sliders and stuff like that. So I went with the default, but I like the option of having them.
Right. I did. I would say that I was really stoked with the sliders, because like it made it like I had to turn up the sharpness on the PlayStation just because it felt a little muddy, just in the native. So, but yeah, that's me for story. What about you? Did you kind of?
Yeah, no, I pretty much agree with you, and I just kind of tossed in my elements there as you were talking. But the only other thing I would add is that I'm hoping that maybe you didn't beat it yet, did you?
Not yet. No, I'm making my way, but I keep getting lost. Like every bend in the road or whatever like that takes me at a completely different side quest, and I'm like, ooh, what is this? Like I feel like the episode of Family Guy where there's like, ooh, piece of candy, ooh, piece of candy. Piece of candy,
which is a good thing to say for the exploration, which we'll get into it in a minute. But so basically, I'm just hoping that by the end, I do agree the story is kind of convoluted, it seems, and I'm hoping by the end it kind of ties it up in an interesting, way that it just is really cool, and we'll see what happens on that. But it's mutant animals, so I mean, like in general, I think that's awesome. So I can look past it. You have a whip. Is that a whip?
Oh no, that's a dual wielding.
Oh, nice. That looks
Yeah,
awesome.
so when you fire 2 shots and then this is some of the abilities that I tapped into. So dual wield, you shoot twice and then you throw your blades out kind of like
What?
boomerangs almost.
That's
Yeah,
amazing. Well,
I
let's get
know.
into it because we're just about to talk about combat anyways.
Absolutely. Go ahead, buddy.
All right, yeah, so just in general, there's like tons of variants in the combat, which I think the combat in general is where this game really shines.
Yes.
Like they did a really good job with the variety. I mean, you have swords and guns and special abilities and bio things, like you can shoot out like little bugs and stuff that like go out and attack people.
Oh yeah.
Fire dashes, which is what I'm using. I think that's really cool. And this is new. I didn't see this either. You in your video here because I'm kind of flipping in between video that of your gameplay and mine. And right now we're looking at your gameplay, and there's like a mech. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh yeah, totally. It's the way you get around in one of the areas, one of the first areas or whatever like that in the story.
What? I must not be very far then. I think I was only like 10 or 15 hours in, but.
Oh no, this is like pretty much right away. So this is like it sends you off to the mole person that's in like the mole character or whatever like that that is like in a wheelchair kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I found him, but I didn't do this.
Oh really?
I'm pretty sure. No. Yeah, I think I would have remembered this.
So you probably actually have it but it's like you have to call it down.
No, I have another mount actually. It's like a funny looking horse, like a unicorn almost.
You get both. So you should be
I definitely
to, like,
don't have this. I definitely
really?
don't. No, I wonder if I chose a different path then, because there are a bunch of different things. And you know what? I didn't like follow the main storyline right away. I'm doing a lot of the going to the different bases and like defeating, destroying the bases and stuff.
Gotcha. I've not done any of that. So we've gone completely two different routes. I went more at like exploration and like anywhere I could go. Like I was like, I want to go there next. And so like, yeah,
that's actually the way I wanted to play. But I kind of there's so much that you can do. Like they kind of open it up and there's, apparently all these different directions. And I just started following the quests and the their tribes. Is that what it's called? Yeah. So I just started following the tribes quest line, and so I was just going around trying to go to these bases because there were like big marks on the map. So I'm like, okay, cool. But what I really wanted to do and what I plan to do is just kind of explore too. So that's really cool to know that you can just go do that. You don't have to go down a certain path or anything. I didn't realize it was that open.
Right, it is extremely open, and then at some point you'll unlock the hand. That's the mount, and there's a few other mounts that you get too. But I love the exploration. Like that was my thing. But anyways, back to combat. Kind of just
we'll get into exploration more.
Absolutely. So you're right. The variance with combat is great. I like the fact that like you could switch between gunplay. I actually just built a shotgun, so we'll talk about crafting as well too. But I just built a shotgun, and it's crazy powerful. And I also built two like sword kind of things that like do shocking damage, which is also super cool.
Yeah, I built a shocking sword too, but it was like pretty low powered. So I ended up going back to my stronger weapon.
Nice. I mean, it happens. I mean, for a while I was using the starting weapons just to begin with. I mean, I think probably through like level 10 or 12, I was using starting weapon, and I was like, damn.
See, I feel like that's where I'm at, actually. I feel like I'm probably around level 12 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think I'm at 17 right now.
Okay. Yeah, I've never even seen these creatures. These look cool.
Yeah, dude. They're part of like the asphyxiated place. Like there's a lot of like oil spills, and it like chokes out the oxygen for the area because everything's dead.
Nice.
So like you have to be in the mech, or you've got to have the biosuit for that.
Biosuit.
Yeah, there's 5 biosuits throughout the world that will give you like immunity when you go into them.
Oh.
So like so the first place I ended up going to was was like the nuclear place. Actually, no, I take that back. It was the asphyxia place where you have the giant mech, and then the next place I went to was the nuclear one. So
this is awesome to know that we can have such different experiences. I mean, you totally went in a different direction than me.
Yeah, I don't know. It just took me in weird ways. So I'm right now in the game. I'm also upgrading the clonk bar and the rocket fist thing. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the mini quest to upgrade those because there are 2 levels to each of those, and once you get, there are certain doors that you can't get through because of you need the second upgrade. Also, the mushroom is the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at here. Oh, that's
Yeah,
so cool. I
yeah,
saw
I
that
love.
on the abilities or like
Yeah,
the special abilities screen or whatever, but I was like, that's I don't know if I would use that, but that looks awesome as I'm
it's
watching you use it.
amazing for exploration. I'm not even
Yeah.
joking. It's the best for, because like you can get to so many high spots. Like
Oh yeah.
I've manipulated it so where I've climbed like ruins of towns. And what's really cool is like at the top of some of these buildings have like legendary loot that like
What?
unless you use this mushroom to get up top there, you'll never get it.
That's awesome. And we keep
Yeah.
bleeding into exploration, but that's okay because that's a big part of the whole thing. But
Yeah.
just keep moving back to combat as we're watching your clip here.
Yeah.
I also want to mention like how cool it is that they do like that slow motion thing, like at the end
Yeah.
when you kill an enemy. And some of the clips that we're seeing of your thing, you like shoot them up into the air, and you're just shoot, and it's all going like slow motion, and then you hit them like real far away. It's
Right.
super
So
cool.
this is the Wung Fu. Have you not done Wung Fu?
I'm not sure actually.
Yeah. So Wong Fu is like the specialty move that you get like a little bit of like you have to earn. So you have to do 3 moves, and this kind of goes into the skill tree where you unlock 3 different like attacking things, and you use like it's like a combo button. So like, for that move right there, it's shoot twice and then throw my things, and that's the unknowable force.
Okay.
And then there's one where I'll do it here in a moment. There it is. There's the crane dance, and that'll
Nice.
unlock Wung Fu. And then Wung Fu is like where everything slows down, and then you can see on the left or the right hand side, you're seeing all these special abilities that I can do that just does crazy damage. And so that's
Wow.
huge to do in combat. So
I'm
it's
missing
great
all
to.
sorts of aspects of this game.
So this is, again, there's so much fun. The parry is great too, because if you parry
Yes.
properly, you can then they get out of balance, and then you can hit like R1 and then throw them up in the air and then do a ton of crazy damage.
Mhm. I have leveraged the parry, which I
Yeah.
like. Yeah.
Parry is great. And some of these combats can last forever. Like this guy right here has got like a mech suit on, so he's impervious to like bullets at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't get rid of that. Like some people have like shields, and you can break the shield, but this guy has a mech suit that's just full on armor.
Nice.
Yeah. So I feel like the camera can get a little clunky, and there's not a proper lock-on system either.
Yeah, that was one of my complaints too that I have listed here is that lock-on system. It's not, it's kind of floaty, and if you're hovering around them, like if your reticle's around them, it'll kind of lock in. But particularly with the guns, it's kind of annoying, especially if you're far away.
Yeah.
Like far enough away to hit them, like shoot them, but you can, it's the targeting. Your reticle like moves from guy to guy like really quickly.
Right.
If they're moving. So I wish there was more of like a lock-on thing.
Yeah, I definitely wish that was there too. And then but I have to say again, they got pistols, shotguns, rifles, automatic rifles. They have you dealt with any of the heavy stuff, like the heavy like hammers, and like have you made like a two-handed weapon?
I've seen the crafting component, so I know that you can make them. But I'm going more like I want to do dual wield, but I was going to ask you about that because do they have to be the same weapon type, which would make sense to dual wield?
I mean, they would end up both being blade type weapons, but it'll say like
or
one-handed.
Guns. Well, I want to do dual wielding guns. You can do that, right?
Oh, you can only dual wield pistols.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to do. So I guess I don't have a second pistol, which is my problem. And every time I go somewhere to buy something, everything's so expensive, and I don't seem to be getting a lot of money. So
you either have to sell your gear, because this game has so much loot in it, like it's crazy. It's like ridiculous amount of loot.
It is.
So you just sell your shit. So you sell things that you're either break it down into material.
Yeah. So my thing about crafting is, which again we're kind of jumping around here, but I always like to. You pretty much have to go all in for crafting. Like if you want to be able to craft awesome stuff, you have to commit to that. So whenever I play a game with crafting, if I'm going to if I choose that path, then I usually break down like everything. So that's what I've been pretty much doing until I realized that I'm not like getting money anywhere else. And then I went to go sell something, and I'm like, holy shit, this stupid hat is like 300 leaves or whatever. Right. And I'm like, okay, yeah, so I need to start selling some stuff.
Yeah. Once you start selling things, it'll open up like buying like really cool ass like like some shops sell like really cool attachments and gun pieces and weapon pieces that you'll be able to craft with and make like a really like dynamite weapon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I need to check out.
Oh, that's you. Nice with the giant sword. Now what class did you go with?
You know what? I forgot what it was called, but it was basically like the distance, like more gunplay, intelligent, I'm weaker, kind of thing. But the class, shit, what is it called? What was yours? Because I wonder if
I went mercenary.
Mercenary? Okay, no.
Because that was the one that was the pre-order that we'll talk about here in a bit of my snafu.
Oh, so did you get it?
Yes, okay, I absolutely did. Yeah. So they have Merc, and then Saboteur was the one that I also tried playing, which is it's cool. I actually really liked it. Its starting gear is so badass because it's literally Chuck Taylor's.
Nice.
Yeah. So while I was waiting for the mercenary thing to get fixed up here, I was doing that. It looks like you're playing the first class. Am I correct? Like
Do you know what the other ones are real quick? Do you have them off the top of your head? Because if you told me, I remember. Because it's when you go into your skills, right? You can see because there's class specific skills.
Yes.
Yeah, and I forget what it is, but it's on the tip of my tongue. So if you mentioned it, I would be able to tell you.
All right, I'm gonna pull it up here. I'm guessing that since you haven't gone to the, I'm going to kind of throw this out there too. Since you haven't been to the nuclear place, you probably haven't fought the boss there, which allows you to change your the way you look without changing any of your stats.
Oh no, I haven't done that.
Yes, dude, it's so cool. All right, so you've got Deadeye.
I think that's me.
Yeah, it should have been the top one.
Well, what are the others then?
Commando.
No.
Psy-Freak.
No. I almost chose that one though. By the way.
Yeah, they get one ability that no other ability can, like one spell. I think it's like shock, something like shock ball or something. Mm-hmm. It's one spell that like no one else can get. It's only unique to them.
Oh, that's cool.
And then Sentinel was like the tank, the big heavy-handed like tank guy.
Yeah,
I think you were
pretty sure I'm Deadeye. Yeah,
yeah. Because Commando was the guy that had the assault rifle and had the bullet strong cross. And then what kind of race did you go with?
Do you got those two?
I can get that pulled up. Yeah, for sure. Give me a second.
Oh, does it tell me right here? It's in my screen right now.
No, because I think race is different. So race, you only get to pick once, and then it
doesn't that only affect your starting stats anyways?
It does, but I mean, it also kind of it
changes your body type too, right?
It does change the body type, and I think it also changes like the kind of fur type that you can have too.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then some of them get like bonuses to like certain different things that like they're race specific.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like the third one down. I forget what it was, but it's
Rex.
It was focused on intelligence and something else. They were all like pretty. They all sounded pretty good, but I just tried to pick the one that sounded more of like my play style. So yeah. I went with because I was thinking I wanted to be more ranged, and use more of the what is it called, Kai?
Key.
Yeah, yep. I want to use more of that, which is the special ability energy.
Do you keep pumping your stuff into intelligence? Yeah,
mostly so I'm I keep putting most of it in intelligence, but I've also put some in vitality so I can get a little bit more health, and then also I put a little bit into strength too because I've been noticing that a lot of times I'm more up close than far away. So
gotcha.
And I didn't start using my psi powers for a long time, because I totally forgot that I had them, because I had purchased some of them, like the fire dash thing, and like the nuclear bees or whatever they are, where it sends out like these little like bugs to attack people, and I just totally forgot about them because I like the guns and the swords are so cool.
Yeah.
But then now more recently I started getting into that. So
nice.
Yeah.
So let's I guess we'll kind of segue into the leveling and the skill tree, as well as kind of like character creation and everything. So kind of just to walk it back to the breeds essentially of these hybrid creatures. There's primal, there's the Dum-Dum, there's the Rex, the Hyla, the Fip, and the Murgle. Yeah,
totally
a lot of weird
nonsensical names. Yeah,
yes.
I think that's part of what's making it hard for me to grasp the concepts of this game is because everything has funky ass names. Like even the weapons upgrades, you look at those, they're so weird when you're like looking at the screen, like for all the weapon parts and all that kind of stuff. It's almost like all gibberish.
Yeah, it really is.
And then you got the tribes and the different their names and all this stuff, and it's a lot, and none of it's really grounded in reality or anything that resembles reality. So
right.
it makes it, for me, it's kind of like, it's just kind of out there, hard for me to follow a little bit.
Right.
I like it though.
Yeah, no, I do too. I mean, there are things that I do like about this game and other things that I don't like about this game. I would say that in retrospect, while I've leveled, several character, I've gone through it as Saboteur for a little bit, and then once Mercenary was opened up to myself, that's when I started digging back into that. And so, yeah, I should be able to summon it here. Like, you should see me summoning it here momentarily because I'm going to get to it. Or maybe I'll get to this house and I'll save myself. But anyways, I would say this game is great if you're a min-maxer and you have like certain builds that you want to play as, because it does allow you to have that sort of freedom and that option.
Oh, yeah.
But as far as like crazy amount of skills and stuff like that, and like the leveling tree, and I would say that it does feel a little it's not as diverse as I feel like I've seen, like, when you played WoW. I mean, like, when WoW first came out, you had like that skill tree was crazy huge, and this just feels a little muted, which is fine. I mean, that way it's not as
overwhelming
exactly,
yeah, and it's more action based too. Like, it's not than WoW. That's a hell of a lot more strategic. This is definitely their focus is more on like the combat, fast paced, and stuff like that. But they could still have like a more robust skill tree. And then I wouldn't even call it a skill tree really, because it's not. It's really more of a skill list, which I was a little disappointed in, because I think if they would have visualized it better, I would have liked to have seen an actual tree with like different paths and things like that, and levels and stuff. I'm not even sure. Can you unlock? Are there like in the skill list? Are there like multiple levels of things, or is it just like you got this skill and now you have it? Because that's what it seemed like to me. That's exactly it.
Yeah, okay. There's not like there's nothing like level wise.
Right. So yeah, that would have been cool to me. But
yeah. I have noticed that for certain pieces of like equipment, whether that's guns or melee, you tend to have a certain skill level, like not necessarily level wise itself, but like your stat points. So like I've noticed that like some weapons require like a 60 agility or like a 50 in vitality for like some armor to like be able to equip it.
I mean, that makes sense though, right?
Right. Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. The one thing I will say that I'm a little bummed out by is that while strength will directly impact the amount of damage that you do with a melee weapon, there's nothing in the game except outside of a couple perks that you can purchase to increase the damage of a ranged weapon.
Yeah. Well, they do. Don't they also have the different ammo that you can like load in? That's because in general you have unlimited bullets, right?
Yeah.
But then there's also like these special like items that you can get that will enhance. It's like special ammo basically, and that is limited. So those have different stats, right? Like different strengths and stuff, or is it just like different attributes?
It does change up like what type of damage it'll do, whether it's just straight up ranged or whether it's got like some elemental to it as well. So it does also offer more damage. So I mean that's one way to do it.
Yeah.
But like there's not like a finite way to increase the damage for your ranged overall. Like if you weren't using any of those modded ammo, you don't have the ability to make your gunplay stronger.
Right. So. Which I'm going to make a devil's advocate argument here. I suppose that's kind of legit, right? Because like in real life or something, you wouldn't be able. You could improve your accuracy and your reload time probably, but you can't like make your bullets stronger, right?
Right.
So that kind of makes sense.
True.
But I would like to have seen that as well. Like upgrade your damage and. From ranged weapons and things like that.
I think there's like a perk that you can get like an upgrade.
I know there's a perk for reload time because I got that one for ranged weapons, and yeah, you're saying you think that there's a strength one too, or no?
Oh, well, so first, so the reason I played Mercenary is there is one that increases your overall damage for melee by 10%. Yeah, it's just damage done by melee weapons. Yeah, if I don't put anything into strength, it's not going to change that. But overall the melee weapons will be 10% more.
Okay,
effective.
right, yeah, that's what I thought you were saying.
Yeah, and there's one for ranged as well too, and I think it's through like maybe the Saboteur class, or not Saboteur, but the Deadeye class, maybe.
Yeah, I'm definitely Deadeye. I remember that. I recognize that from my special skill tree area, my skill list.
Now, are you dumping anything into because obviously I think there's 6 or 7 stats. You've got strength, vitality, you've got agility, intelligence,
luck,
you've got charisma and luck. So what are you dumping your stuff into?
Well, I mentioned it earlier. But mostly just intelligence, vitality, and then barely strength, but mostly intelligence. See, I'm not a min-maxer, but I do want to try to play like a certain angle, because a lot of times I'll play these kind of games and I will just do like a middle of the road, like very average. But then a lot of times you don't get to see some of the really cool things that you can do, which I'm sure is what drives min-maxers to want to do that, because then they can get, maximize the abilities of the character and class that they choose and stuff. So I try to come at it from that angle, and I figured I'd throw everything into intelligence just so I could be more like magical. Yeah. But what I'm really finding that I'm enjoying most is ranged weapons, which is how I usually play most games. Is like a mid to long distance.
Nice. Yeah, I would say, I've been putting mostly mine into strength, a little bit into agility and into intelligence, because I like to dive in and then do little cut 'em ups and then dive out with gunplay. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I try to go super guerrilla warfare. Fuck charisma, because I don't ever put anything into charisma, which I feel like I should, because like it would help with bartering prices. But that's all it does, right? That's all it does. It's all it does, and
that's all it ever does in any RPG is basically.
I know it's
sometimes it'll unlock different dialogue choices, which can give you different paths, which is cool. Like particularly in Bethesda games and stuff. Yeah, in this game,
but in this game, like I don't care about that, because it's just gonna be the narrator saying something stupid. Like come on now.
Yeah. Now, if I don't know if we can confirm that it doesn't unlock different like paths or quests or something like that. If it did, that would be more enticing to me. But yeah, I'd much rather put it into something that I know is going to affect my minute to minute gameplay, like strength or intelligence or something like that.
Shut up, Kaidi. I've got plenty. I got charisma. I have more charisma in my pinky than you do in your whole body.
Just like in real life, we don't put anything into charisma.
Now let's kind of go over crafting mechanics. Like we've gone over it a little bit here. What did you think about it?
It's very overwhelming. I feel like there's so many different parts, and I don't know what goes with what, and it's cool because I do feel like I'm picking up stuff all the time. Yeah. And it's always very interesting sounding things too. Like just very odd components that don't sound like they'd be, could be put together to make a gun. Yeah. But because of that too, again, with the obscurity of the names and like what these things look like and stuff, it does make it overwhelming. Like, what is this thing? Why do I feel like I have so many parts, but I can't really make anything. Yeah. And, but I did start to mess around with it a little bit, and I made a blade. And nice. At first I thought you had to use crafting components and money, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I discovered that you don't actually need money.
No,
that's the value of the weapon after you create it.
Yeah, correct. It'll show you the parts, like the part value. Yeah. And then like if you use that part value, like what, and then it'll show you like the total afterwards, like what it's worth. But yeah, no, you don't need to use money at all.
Yeah, so that's good. It would be really annoying if you had to use money and crafting components, because that's like, why wouldn't I just buy the weapon then at that point?
Exactly.
But that's not the case, so that's good. Yep. But yeah, I think it's really cool when you actually get into it. And once I started to play with it more, I started to understand, how it worked. So basically you pick a base, whether it's a weapon, a gun, or, a pistol or shotgun or a blade, you pick the base, and then you can pick like the handle and then other attachments. For a blade, I don't think there's usually a lot, right? It's like just the handle and There's something else too, I think.
Yeah, so
like
there's
the
a
tip.
handle, there's the base, and then there's typically an add-on depending on
Yeah.
if you have like if your blade has one. But then the guns can be
Right.
much more complicated
Yes.
because there's the base, and then you can
The
add like a
stock,
scope to it. Yeah, you can add a stock to it.
the
You can add the
barrel,
trigger, the
the
barrel,
clip.
exactly. So there's like 7 or 8 components of an actual gun, and I found out when I made the shotgun that it's kind of complicated because you need so many parts, like crafting parts,
Mhm.
to then make it. Because unfortunately, you can't just have all these parts of the weapon and then just put them together. You also have to have on top of that like 5 different crafting costs,
Right.
that play into
Materials.
it too. Yep, exactly. And so you can find those either by I think just decomposing a lot of your stuff, or around the world you'll find these giant weird statue things, where
What I forget what they're called, but it's like a giant, like it looks like
it's
a junk
trash totem.
tower. Yeah.
Yeah,
What did you call it?
a trash totem.
Trash totem. I like it.
Yeah. But that typically is what you would use to like get a few it's kind of like opening up a box or something, like a treasure chest full of like usable shit. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah, those are cool.
And you can find them everywhere. So I would say that, yeah, you're right. I do feel like it can be very overwhelming. And typically I don't like crafting at all. But this game actually kind of makes crafting. When I first wrote it, I was kind of like, crafting, like it's my least favorite part of the game. However, as I've gone on, I find that the crafting is actually a lot of fun. By the way, for your Deadeye, are you using Perfect Reload?
Yes.
Okay, good. I was gonna say, I hope he knows about Perfect Reload, because it's like literally the best fucking thing ever for the game.
It is,
because I've got like a clip on one of my pistols for like 42. So and the reload time is horrible. So yeah, Perfect Reload is like amazing.
Yeah, is that a Deadeye specific?
It starts off as a Deadeye specific, but you can unlock that as a perk.
Oh, right, because of course it wouldn't be
perk points.
It wouldn't be specific because you have it.
Yeah,
and you're not Deadeye. Yeah,
it's true.
So part of the thing too, I don't know where this would fit, but I'm just watching my gameplay here, and I do feel like there's a lot of tutorial messages that come up a lot.
Yes,
which is
you can turn those off.
Well, yeah, but see, the thing is, I want to know about these things, but I feel like they kind of throw everything at you, and it's just too much. Like I felt my overarching experience in this game has been like overwhelmed. Like I feel like it's a lot of the systems and everything. There's just a lot going on, and I think the names really, I do really think that plays a big part of it. Yeah, where it's just very confusing because it's not using any real world names, right? Which I understand, but it takes a little bit more time to like learn what everything does and what it is and stuff. So I just felt a lot of overwhelming mechanics being thrown at me, which is it's a shame because like the kung fu stuff, I barely use like special moves or like the combos that you're talking about, where if you do a couple of different combos, then you can do like a special move. I haven't gotten really into that because I'm just working on mastering like the regular mechanics, like parrying and shooting and dodging and all that kind of stuff. It's a lot to remember.
Work on those special moves. It'll be but you're right. Yeah, there is a lot in this game, and like I said, it kind of goes back to the thing that we talked about in the begining. Like the storyline feels busy, and this game kind of feels a little bit busy with all the mechanics and everything else. That it was very overwhelmed. I feel like it was like a great idea. Like someone had a great idea, and then they were like, "Oh, I've got another great idea, and let's throw that in there." And I've got another great idea, and I just kept on growing, and like now it's like sort of like it's like 20 great ideas, but they like at times can like feel like it bogs down the player. Yeah, with all the things that you can do in the game. Like you said, like at one point you completely forgot you had the psi powers, because you have so many options with guns and swords and parrying and all this combat like focused on melee and range, that you're like, oh wait, I also have psi powers too,
and special moves, like like you were talking about, that I've kind of pretty much put on the back burner. I think it could have been helpful maybe if they would have used videos and also kind of spaced it out more. Maybe I didn't do all the tutorials. Maybe I missed some things, but there's a lot of times where it'll just pop up with a little dialogue box that's like, and this and this and this, and then it's talking about like moves and using words and things that again are specific to this game, and I'm just like, what's that? Okay, but if they showed me like a little thing like, here, do this and this, and then while it's showing me, like how they have little video tutorials, that seems like it could have helped with that a little bit.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, like, to be fair to your point about the Wung Fu, like the slow down where you have like the superpower moves, that is not very well explained. I don't know, maybe if it's in the story like later on down the road, but like I learned about it through a YouTube video when I was watching like how to like this game. Like it was not something that I found on my own, and it wasn't something that it like told me how to do.
I feel like it was in one of those dialogue boxes, but it just went over my head. But I might be wrong about that, because there is a lot of those, like a lot of those little boxes, and it's like one after another, like while you're trying to like get into the combat. Right. So it'd be kind of, I don't know. I'm not making these games, so I understand it's probably totally like extremely difficult to balance all that stuff. But I just know that I've played games that are at least as complicated and have even more complicated systems that I grasp. You know what I mean? Right. And I feel like a lot of it's how it's introduced to you too. So
right.
And they do a good job of it, like introducing you to stuff. It's just a lot of stuff, and I think it could be better personally.
Yeah. So let's go on to another shining star of this game, which was the exploration.
Yes.
I think this is this. I mean, if this combat was great, this in the combat is really what sells me on this game. So what did you think about it, buddy?
Well, so it's really pretty. I think the graphics are really, really good, especially on PS5. It looks good. It's using Unreal 4 engine, so of course you got really nice environmental things like grass and trees and the sky and stuff like that. There's other aspects that aren't as good. I feel like when they first showed it, it looked better maybe, so they might have had to like turn it down a little bit, but that's normal. And I'm I'm playing on PS5, so I feel like it's I'm pretty sure it's 4K.
It's not
up-res.
No, it's not at all.
No, okay. Well, it is
1080. Yeah, it said that there was an error with the Biomutant game on the PlayStation 5. I think it's PlayStation 5 only, where the 4K does not work at all, and it was causing the game to crash. So they had to like remove it. So you're getting 1080 at like 60.
Well, it is. Yeah, it's still 60, and it still looks really good. But that's encouraging. Hopefully they'll patch that back in then at some point, and we'll see. But anyway, it just looks really good. I have had we'll talk about some of the issues that we had before, but the exploration wise, like I didn't even realize there was mounts, which is cool. So when I found one, I was just like, whoa, what? So there's animals and stuff I can ride on. And then after watching your gameplay video and seeing that there's actually mechs that you can drive around, that's super cool. Much more enticing than my little colorful horse that I have, which also doesn't run much faster than my top running speed, mind you, which is pretty funny. But it's okay. It's the first one. But I thought that was really cool. I really appreciate the fast travel because I was just talking to you before the show about how I did finally complete Near Remnant, and it's or not Remnant, is it? Yeah, Replicant. Sorry, Replicant. Yeah. Near Replicant. I did finally get the first inning on that, and like that game, you go back and forth all the time. And I don't think if there was a fast travel in that, I missed it. So in this, it's very nice to have because you can just pop over to the other side of the map and then continue exploring like a completely different area. So
and it's huge. Yeah, this game is massive, and so like having that fast travel is great. Have you unlocked the glider yet?
No, that sounds awesome.
Oh. That's so cool. So you'll at some point while you're running around and exploring, you'll run across this panda. It's huge. It's like huge, and you go talk to it, and it'll take you back to like a past memory. And then once you're doing this past memory, like you'll have like a little fight as like a kid, and you'll be able to choose between 4 different things. And like one, it's actually really cool. The cricket that you have will turn into a glider. And then other options that it has will be like it'll like shoot a gun for you. So it'll just constantly be like pelting an enemy with bullets, so to help out in combat. Then there's a portion of it where it'll do like healing, and then there's also another portion where it'll give you like a strength booster in combat as well.
Nice.
So yeah, when you're out in the world, look for a giant panda. It'll really help out. But yeah, the mounts are great. I love them. I also love the fact with the fast travel, the way that you like activate a fast travel is you piss on the signpost.
Yes, marking your territory. I noticed that. I didn't notice it at first, but then one time I was unlocking one and I was like, did you just piss on that?
Yes, it's so funny. and again, the exploration to me has been so fun when you go into these like towns that are like just completely like overgrown or
Mm-hmm.
like just ripped apart, and you like I'll put mushrooms in like weird places like in a building, and I'll be able to get like up top, and like I said, it opens up a lot of the map that like again in most games I would say feels like you can't get through. Now I will say that the one thing that I don't like is that in the game there are like plenty of places that you can't climb. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not like Zelda Breath of the Wild where everything
Right.
is climbable. This is simply like, yeah, if there's a you can use the mushroom to kind of use to get like a little bit of height, and if you can't get there, it wasn't meant for you. And then the mountains, like you've got to look for like small pegs that like you can climb up, sort of like a Horizon Zero Dawn, where again that had climbing, but it didn't necessarily have like open world in the sense where I could climb a mountain,
Right.
and then be up the mountain. It was just like this was. Yeah, so I would say that the open world to this game is huge. I think it's like said like it's like 8 kilometers by 8 kilometers. It's massive.
The
like
map
I
looks
even
really
like
big. Yeah, I was looking at it, just scrolling around, and it looks like there's a lot of cool areas.
I've been playing it for like 2 weeks, and I've only gotten half the map unlocked.
Nice.
Yeah, it's I mean it's huge. Like so I'm also enjoying kind of like the basic puzzles, you know, in the game. I mean they're a nice little break, like where you've got to match up the white and the orange thing or whatever like that, or they don't get too complex.
And
but
I appreciate that though, because it's just like a little bit of a puzzle, but it's not it's not super difficult. Yeah. But it kind of changes it up, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, again, and again, exploring and finding loot. This game is just littered with loot everywhere. It's made for you to just find so much things. So I loved it.
Give me all the loot.
Yes, exactly. This is a fun game. And then I know we had some performance issues. I know for me, playing on the base 4, PlayStation 4, I should say, the base model, I ran into some issues where it does sound like my PlayStation's about to explode because of how much it's trying to process at one point.
Have you opened it up and blown it out yet, or vacuumed it out?
I clean off the sides.
Okay, you should do the thing where you actually take the cover off, and then there's only a couple of things that you have to take off of it, and then you can put like a vacuum up to it and get a lot of that out of there. I did it before I sold mine. Yeah. Okay.
All right. I'll have to do that here really soon. Maybe that'll help mute it up a little bit, but it does sound like it sounds like there's a tank running around in my PlayStation. Now I will say that also I ran into times where the scene would kind of get really bogged down with how much it's trying to, comprehend, and so I'd get like huge lag spikes, especially during combat too, because just there's, especially with how many enemies you end up fighting later on. I got to a point where I was like fighting like 12 enemies at once and trying to do a dodge while they're all shooting guns and everything else. It made it very challenging to kind of stay in, and I've had issues where it would freeze up and I'd hit like this huge lag spike, and then I'd walk, I'd find out that I was dead like a moment once it caught up.
Yikes. That's no good.
So and then I was getting like the blue screen of gaming hell where it would just give me your system crashed or your game crashed, and that would be so frustrating because you'd have to rely on the autosave at that point, and hopefully it saved recently. And I hate some of those games because of that save functionality, where if you don't save, you're kind of fucked. And I think that like there are games that did a great job, like Ghosts ran really well, Spider-Man, God of War, Last of Us, Horizon. Now all those are all first party Sony games, so again they would have the best experience that you possibly could get out of the game,
and they're only developing for one platform also, you got to remember.
Right, exactly. And so I think that this game, probably tried to, toe the line. And but again, this game has been in development since it was supposed to come out in 2018.
Yeah.
So, for me to say, this game should run flawlessly on PlayStation 4, well, if it was supposed to come out in 2018, that means you've probably been working on it for 3 to 4 years prior to that. So, I mean, if you've been working on this game for 6-7 years, I feel like it should be flawless, but it's unfortunately it's just not.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
and I did have a much better experience, as I mentioned, on the PS5. I had a few. Basically, I just ran into some frame rate issues occasionally, where it just drop a few frames, but that was pretty much it. And then there also some texture pop in, which happened occasionally. But aside from that, I didn't really have any major issues. I'm not even sure if I ran into like a software crash. I know I did with like Cyberpunk and stuff. So even on the PS5, I was still experiencing stuff like that, like some of the base PS4 users were.
Yeah.
But for the most part, this feels pretty good on PS5, and I feel like if you locked it to 30 frames, then you wouldn't even see any of those drops probably on the PS5.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully one day I'll get myself a PlayStation 5. I actually saw one in person the other day, and I did, and that thing is massive. I didn't think it was going to be that big.
It's the biggest console ever.
It's ridiculous. It honestly, it looks like a computer tower, and that's why I'm hoping that like maybe in the like when I do end up buying it, there will be a slim option because
it
of
looks
like
a major award.
It does look crazy. Now, one thing I will say too is when this game first launched, the whole reason I wanted to play this game was because of the mercenary class, which was the dual wielding samurai katana, wakizashi kind of character that was like a melee build or a melee class, and I was super stoked to play it. However, there was an issue where the pre-order on the PlayStation 4 was not working at all, and so
a kerfluffle.
Yeah, there was, and so it took about 36 hours for them to fix that. So that was a little frustrating for sure. I would say that I was really heated in the moment. Now looking back at it, I'm happy I played a little bit of it, and I'm happy I kind of got to experience a different class.
Yeah.
I'm actually really excited if I do ever end up beating this game and finishing it, the New Game Plus will actually take your character, and you'll be able to then at that point, all of the class skills that are exclusive to the classes themselves are all opened up to your character. So you'll be able to like make like a hybrid kind of character of all the 5 or 6 classes that are available.
You're saying this is the case, or you hope it's the case?
No, it is the case.
Oh, nice.
They just recently patched it where they put in an extreme difficulty for the game, and they also put in a ability for a New Game Plus, which would allow you to, once you beat the game in its entirety, not all the side quests, just the main story. Once you roll credits, you can put in your character as a New Game Plus, and then you can unlock perks and stuff like that are class specific on that one character. Because just me and you playing this, you're locked into your Deadeye, I'm locked into Mercenary. But once like I beat the game or you beat the game, you'll be able to use any of the 6 classes that are available.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's
any
awesome.
of the skills, which is pretty cool. Yeah. So what was your overall feeling?
So final thoughts on this. It's fun. I'm enjoying playing it. The combat feels great, again, like we talked about, and has a lot of variance. There are a ton of different skills, abilities, weapon options that basically suit any, or lots of different play styles. The exploration is awesome, and apparently I have a lot more to explore because I was just kind of going around and looking at these, trying to make all these tribes join my cause. So I need to go around and just look, check out some stuff. But the character and gear is really cool and unique in terms of like the art style and things like that. I feel like the story hasn't really grabbed me like I hoped it would, but I'm hoping that once I progress more in the main quest line, it will kind of open up into and introduce some interesting story elements. I also am interested to see if the morality choices affect the ending, because it does seem like that might be something that they play with. And if so, that adds some additional replayability to be a super evil character for me. So I'd say personally wait for a sale, but it's definitely worth $30 or $40 to me, I would say. Yeah. Also, like we were talking about, some stability in other community reported issues have already been addressed with a patch on the PC, which should be coming to consoles really soon.
Yeah, I mean, I would kind of, pretty much agree with everything you just said, in regards to, exploration and combat being probably the highlights of this game, and like just the amount of variability with, the different skills and abilities. Again, like the exploration with the mushroom is like seriously like groundbreaking. Like it just like opens up so much more. Again, the storyline, just like you said, it doesn't grab me. I've not been like, sold on it yet, and it's hard for me just to like, lock in with that and say, yeah, I'm all in. So it's not compelling enough. There are some super shining moments. I would say probably a 6 or a 7 out of 10 if I was being honest, and I would also say it's probably about $30 or $40. I don't know if it's a full 60 value, because there are so many issues with the game, between performance and bugs, and just a few other things too. It has a lot of I guess it's very
A lot of heart.
no, it's ambitious. That's the word I'm looking for.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
very
highly
ambitious. Yes, exactly. So it's highly ambitious in what it was trying to present itself as. But unfortunately, I just feel like a lot of things just were trying to overtake itself, and there's just too much in the game that doesn't allow it to really shine like it should. Again, the world's vibrant, beautiful, love it. The vistas are great. I'm excited to try it maybe on a PlayStation 5 at some point down the road.
Come on over.
Right, I know. I do wish there was a multiplayer to this game. I feel like that misses a big opportunity for like a Borderlands, like where you can bring somebody in and they can help you out. Exactly. This would be great for like a couch co-op or an online experience, and then not just be a single player. But that's just my 2 cents. I think if that was in the game already, then it's definitely worth a $60. If that multiplayer was part of it.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, well,
thank you again for that code too.
Yeah. Thank you, guys, THQ Nordic, and if you like action RPGs and mutant animals, which who doesn't, definitely check out Biomutant when you get a chance. All right, E3 baby, the pre-show.
Hell yeah!
We got a lot to talk about here, but a lot of it is just predictions and speculation. So we will get through this here and see what you guys think. So let's see. The Electronic Entertainment Expo, all digital, is going all digital again this year. It runs from June 12th through the 15th. And it promises appearances from Nintendo, Xbox, Capcom, Ubisoft, Square Enix, Take-Two Interactive, Warner Brothers Games, Sega, and Bandai Namco, plus many more. Let's break down the times and dates so you don't miss a moment of it.
I did want to point out too, everyone that's listening to this, if you haven't already, go sign up, because you can go ahead and sign up for like the fan registration right now and just put in your information, and it'll send you like an email and get you confirmed, so that they'll send like you notifications of when they're holding things and everything like that. It's
free.
For free. Yeah, you can definitely do that. It's great. You can even do it for media. I was thinking we should do that. We could talk about that off air, but yeah, for media, we could possibly see even some behind the scenes kind of shit and report back on that.
Ooh. That does sound cool.
Right. But anyways, let's kick it off. Let's go over the days here. So what
Saturday,
we can expect,
June 12th.
Saturday.
Yeah. So the pre-show of the event will kick off at 1 p.m. Eastern. That's 12 Central, and 10 a.m. Pacific. With SJR, you don't have to look up time conversions. We'll tell you. Don't even worry about it. Right, Justin?
Right.
On Saturday, we get to see Ubisoft and Gearbox. Also, this is not part of the official E3 show, but Devolver Digital also has announced that they have a presentation at 3:30 Central. That's 1 o'clock on Pacific time. 1:30, sorry. So, yeah, what do we think? Ubisoft?
Sorry, my computer was kind of crashing, and I was like, "Oh shit, am I gonna get cut off the recording?"
Oh no, you look good. Everything's good so far.
Solid. All right, yeah. Just worried that I was gonna come through really like muddy for whatever reason.
You're all good.
Yeah, good. So Ubisoft is gonna kick that off like we just went over here. So I think they actually their main show will take place at 4 p.m. that day, like Eastern time. So that'll be 3 us Central time, and then again
no. 1 Central, if it's at for 4. Okay, yeah, so the pre-show is what you're talking about.
The pre-show will kick off at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 Central, and 11 Pacific. So that's going to feature things like For Honor, Watch Dogs Legion, The Crew 2. It's going to talk about updates for those games that are going to be going on, and any kind of new info about maybe their seasons that they're going to be updating and going into. But obviously the main focus will be a couple hours later, and that's going to be their main showcase.
Definitely sign up for that thing on the E3 site so they can just send you the easy, you just watch your notifications and then click on it so you can check it out. I'm going to do that right after.
Hell yeah. I did that last night. I saw it and I was like, oh yeah, definitely gonna do that. So 2 hours later from that pre-show is going to be their main show again. It's going to feature things like Far Cry 6. Probably going to see a lot more of that. There's been talk that they're going to reveal the new Tom Clancy game, or I guess it's like a 6v6 kind of situation. So I don't know if that's going to be like sort of like their kind of next step in battle royale kind of idea. I don't know. As well as any kind of Assassin's Creed Valhalla updates. Updates. Yeah, because I know they just came out with the Druids portion where you go to Ireland, which is pretty cool. Nice. So we'll see what happens there, what goes on next. But any predictions that you think, buddy?
Shout out to our friend Yoshimitsu really quick from the Discord channel because he's from Ireland.
Oh, yay.
Yes. Don't let those evil Assassin's Creed guys hurt you, my friend. Predictions for this Ubisoft thing. I'm thinking we haven't heard about Beyond Good and Evil 2 in a long time, and I say this every year, and they never show it. It's kind of gone off the radar, so I wonder, was it too ambitious? It certainly sounded like it. And did it just collapse under its own weight? Are they still working on it? It is still listed on their website as a game that they're, in their games list or whatever. So we'll see. I'm not really holding my breath about that, but it would be really cool to see an update on Beyond Good and Evil 2. And then just another thing that would be fun to see, which I don't expect, but a new South Park game. They've got the engine, so they can basically, we know how Trey Parker and Matt Stone pump out shit for the actual show. So as long as they have the engine, I feel like they could be pumping out games too. So let's see it. New South Park announcement.
Yeah, that'd be great. I kind of predict that we're going to probably see sort of the first PlayStation 5 Series X exclusive title that they're going to announce. So like every game that they've put out there so far, like Far Cry 6 and I'm assuming the new Tom Clancy, anything for obviously Assassin's Creed Valhalla will all come to like the PlayStation 4 and 5, and then also Xbox One and Series X. So that'll have that sort of cross-platform and cross-generation kind of thing. However, I'm imagining that this is going to be the first time that they're going to announce a game or two that will be exclusive for the PlayStation 5 and Series X for that brand new generation. And I kind of think that might be Assassin's Creed that they're going to maybe showcase for the following year, which would be really interesting because they normally they were doing Assassin's Creed every year, but then they realized they were better off just doing Assassin's Creed every other year.
Yep.
So again, last year they did the Valhalla that came out just as the new generation had launched. I imagine we're probably going to be seeing.
Was it last year then, or was it the year prior? Because it came out with PS5, didn't it? Which would have been
2020. So then next year, 2022, is when the next Assassin's Creed would technically be scheduled to come out.
Yes, that's right. Okay.
So I there's been rumors that they've been wanting to do like a feudal Japan samurai style Assassin's Creed, which kind of falls in line with Sekiro winning Game of the Year, with Ghost being so being so great last was it last year or 2 years ago?
Ghost
2 years
Tsushima?
ago. Yeah,
2 years.
Yeah,
everything's bleeding together. This COVID thing has really fucked my brain up.
Really, So I know that they've been wanting to do this kind of game for a while. It's been talked about and rumored for heavily. So I think possibly it could be the next Assassin's Creed would be like a feudal Japan, but we'll see.
That would be cool. Although I don't know if you can do it better than Ghost of Tsushima.
I know, dude. That was so good.
That'll be interesting.
Yes. Then we have Gearbox. So these are the devs behind Borderlands and Battleborn. So they're going to be presenting that same day, but the exact time is really not specific. So just obviously it's best to sign up for those E3 notifications because that will help you out. So what do you think is going to be at this showcase?
I certainly think that a next gen update announcement for Borderlands 3 is imminent. 4K, 60 frames, adaptive trigger support on PS5. I'm not sure if we're going to hear about Borderlands 4. I feel like it's a little too early for that.
Yeah.
It would be awesome, but I don't think we're going to see that. And I'm not really sure what else to expect. Maybe a new IP. Gearbox doesn't really have a ton beyond Borderlands. You mentioned Battleborn, but that pretty much died on the vine, didn't it? Because it came out like at the same time as Overwatch.
It did come out at the same time that Overwatch did, and it did last for 5 years. So it actually the server just went down earlier this year, back in like January.
I feel like we stopped hearing about it like like within months of it being released.
Blizzard pretty much took the storm. Everyone was playing it, and then there was some like it became very streamable. A lot of people are playing it, exclusively PC wise, and there was that became like its own esport. Like that's when people started like really paying attention to like esports, is how big that the Overwatch League has gotten. So I think that definitely overshadowed it. But we could possibly see a Battleborn 2. I mean, there was a game that kicked around for 5 years. I mean, it was
take another crack
successful.
At it.
Exactly, and who knows. I did also see that another game that they're I don't know if they're developing or if they're just publishing it, but Homeworld 3, which is a real-time science fiction strategy game, that is actually going to be released. It right now is estimated Q4 of 2022. So I could see them trying to, pump out some information about this game as well. It looked pretty cool. Had to deal with a lot of spaceships and space battles. So
I like space battles. Is it
space
PC?
Battles.
PC only? Or?
No, it looked like it. Well, I think it's too early to say whether it was if it was for everything or not. But I actually think that we could possibly see maybe a trailer for Borderlands the movie.
Ooh, I didn't even think of that. They should totally have that. They should have that ready now, right?
I don't know. I think I feel like they were still casting even just a couple months ago, so I don't know if maybe they've got enough there to make it. Maybe if it was just like the little box guy that wheels in with
which is going to be Jack Black, right?
Right, exactly.
That's awesome.
So maybe if he like wheels in, and maybe there's just like I don't know,
and he comes on stage or like shows up in the digital presentation, whatever.
Yeah,
Jack Black comes out. I guarantee you that's going to happen.
That would be great
if they show the trailer or like a teaser.
Yeah,
you could easily do a teaser with Jack Black Claptrap. Just come out for like 30 seconds and say some goofy shit and then go away.
Yep,
that's huge. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Did you?
No, I was just saying. And so I think you'd put this on here too. Is there? This other company has a presentation as well, correct?
Oh yeah, Devolver Digital has a presentation that they announced, like I mentioned earlier, outside of the E3 thing. So you probably won't get a notification for that. But if you've seen any of the Devolver Digital presentations in the past, they're absolutely manic and ridiculous. So I will predict that madness will ensue. I think they've been carrying on the story. There's been a storyline since the first digital one that they did. And I believe that they've been continuing that crazy narrative throughout all of the different presentations over the last few years. Yeah. So this should probably pick up where the other one left off. And you can always expect to be extremely offended and disgusted as well as titillated.
It's very true.
You get all the senses.
Yes. Oh, so many senses. So then I think that's going to round it out for that first day. And then Sunday is the Mamma Jamma itself. It kicks off pretty early in the morning, and then Microsoft takes the fucking stage at 1.
Hand in hand with Bethesda. They'll probably skip out. Hey, guys.
Yeah, right.
This is going to be awesome. Our new partnership. Yeah, I'm very excited.
Oh, God, I can't wait. Super stoked. So what do you think? So this, again, it's going to start 1 p.m. Eastern, so it's noon for us here in Central Time, and then again 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that's when you should tune in for that. Again, the pre-show will start, and they're going to be doing like essentially a podcast and media hosts are going to be doing like the pre-shows themselves. So there's not going to be a whole lot of they're pretty much going to be recapping the day and kind of like previewing what the day is going to look like for the rest of the day between the things. So they're probably going to be doing exactly what we're doing right now with their predictions of what they're going to see. So what do you think is going to happen in the Microsoft Bethesda showcase?
Well, a lot could happen. I think there's going to be a lot of things that no one would be able to predict, especially with the in the indie space. I think they're almost certainly, I mean, just like they do with every presentation, they're going to reveal a bunch of new stuff that's coming to Xbox Game Pass day one. It's not going to be exclusive necessarily, but it will. It's going to come along with the announcement that it's going to be released on day one, which is always exciting. In terms of Bethesda, I feel like we're going to see Starfield almost certainly, because that's basically their next release that they've lined up, right? And we've seen screenshots. Those couple of screenshots that leaked. I feel like they're ready to pull back the curtain on it. Maybe not huge. It could just be like a little like gameplay, a little bit of gameplay, or I think we're going to see something more than a teaser though.
Yeah.
I think they're going to talk about that. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I think absolutely. I think Starfield is absolutely going to be a big presentation.
Push.
Yeah. And honestly, in my thing, I think we could possibly see Elder Scrolls 6 because we did get a teaser last year where it just showed literally just like them going over a mountain.
No, that was like, I swear that was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Was that 2 or 3 years ago?
Yeah.
I can't remember. It might have been what I think it was. I don't know if it wasn't at E3 last year because that E3 didn't exist. I think it was.
Wasn't it at Video Game Awards?
I think it was Video Game Awards of 2019.
I'm looking it up.
Okay.
Fact check.
Fact check. But again, Elder Scrolls 5.
E3 2018.
Okay, E3
2018 is what it says.
Jeez.
The Elder Scrolls 6 teaser. And it was the mountain flyover.
Yeah.
Yeah, June 10th, 2018 is when that was put on YouTube.
So it's been a while.
Anyway.
3 years at this point. So, I mean, at this point, I think we could possibly see something about it. I mean,
they're due for sure.
Exactly. And they just rolled out a brand new expansion for the Elder Scrolls Online. So I don't think that they are going to be talking too much about that, except for maybe like an upgraded version for the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5, maybe for that online service. But I'm also looking at Fallout 5 possibly. And I know that you put down there it may be a bit too early for that.
I feel it is, yeah.
I feel like when you look at the Fallout 5, that came out, or I'm sorry, Fallout 4 came out in 2015. So we're looking at 6 years. I could see maybe another kind of like where they do like a little trailer where it's just like a post-apocalyptic town, and you see someone in the mech, that big fucking Fallout suit that everyone the power armor or power suit, walk forward or whatever, walk forward out of it, and then it just says Fallout 5. I could see something like that, just like as like an announcement, like, hey, we're working on it, because they had such a fallout with not to as a play on words.
I see what you did there.
They had such a bad reaction with Fallout 76, and like I think like they need.
But they're doing the ongoing game thing with that. So I mean, they just released they keep releasing content for that. I feel like that's taken care of right now, and if they did Starfield, Elder Scrolls, and Fallout, I feel like they'd be kind of blowing their load all at once. So to speak.
I feel like they do kind of need to do that because they didn't. I mean, they had Deathloop that just came out, but that's really it. And then the last year they didn't really put out a whole lot. They had the Fallout 76, and then they had that mobile game for the Elder Scrolls that kind of flopped as well too and got a lot of bad press. So both games got a lot of bad press. I feel like that Bethesda probably does need to kind of shoot their load off, and it only makes Xbox look even better because they're like, hey, look what we bought, and then look at all these fucking money makers we're about to fucking sell.
It's possible. I would expect if they do anything Fallout, I feel like it's going to be some obscure third thing, like another mobile game or something like that, for that, or maybe an Elder Scrolls 6 style teaser trailer for Fallout, but I don't think it's going to.
What I was thinking.
If there's anything that would, I don't think it's going to be any bigger than that. Elder Scrolls 2, I don't think they need to, but I'm thinking maybe they'll show us another teaser, but it's more extensive where it actually shows the engine. Yeah. Or like some gameplay, maybe not gameplay, but like in-engine rendering. Yeah. But Starfield is going to be the main course, I think, and I'm hoping that we get deep dives into it and actual like gameplay commentary and stuff like that, especially now that they've announced or confirmed that it's going to be exclusive to Xbox. Yeah. Which I think is another thing that we might expect to see is some kind of joint announcement by Microsoft and Bethesda saying, hey, this Starfield is going to be the first console exclusive for Microsoft from Bethesda, and guess what? Moving forward, so is everything else, and people are going to lose their minds. Yeah,
I mean, I would say that like people are going to like if you can get an Xbox at that point, you're going to be hard pressed because if they make an announcement like that, fuck it, it's over.
It's going to sell systems for sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it would sell me on it. Like
it already has. Just the prospect of it, like knowing that they are working together, that Microsoft owns them now, is enough. Right. Like you don't even need the confirmation that they're going to be exclusive, but you're hoping for it too.
Right. If it is console exclusive, my first console will be a PlayStation. Will be a Series X. It won't be a PlayStation 5. Hands down. I could also see I feel like there's gonna be a lot about Halo because that's coming up on its 20th anniversary.
Outside of Bethesda stuff, there's still a company called Microsoft who's gonna...
Right. Exactly. I could see maybe Gears of War possibly getting something for the next series, like maybe not one that's like on both, but just on the Series X exclusive. Two-ish years ago, they did this Senua Saga, the Hellblade trailer for that, and like you could see her Game of the Year.
Yes. It won Game of the Year.
I think it win Game of the Year. No, it didn't win Game of the Year. No, it didn't win. It was it was in consideration for it.
I am pretty sure the first one won.
No.
I thought it did because it beat out something that I wanted to win. Hold on, I'm fact checking it.
Okay. But anyway, so Hellblade 2, they showcased that like a couple years ago when they first announced the new Series X, and that trailer just got me super rock hard. So like that game, like I'm just so stoked for that to come out. I think that'll be a great one for it as well. Also interested in seeing if maybe they showcase Sable. That's been one that is going to be an Xbox exclusive. And then possibly like a Game Pass upgrade. I don't know what that could be, but I think that Game Pass, could evolve a little bit, maybe include some kind of, online media with either music or movies or something. I don't know, but I could see something with Game Pass. Again, this is just predictions, maybe wishful thinking, but did you find it?
No. I'm on the Wikipedia page, and it won.
It won like
it won a bunch of awards.
Yeah, because it had to do with a lot of mental mental issues, like mental problems. Like I think she has like a few disorders, and it like tackles that in a game that really has never done that before, like schizophrenia, I think it is. Like she has those kind of problems, and so like they kind of make that a focal point. But
I guess they won games for impact, best performance, and best audio design for the Game Awards 2017. I think they won Game of the Year from some other outlets, but I don't see it on here right now.
So that pretty much rounds out that. From what we know, I mean, from what we could speculate, again, Microsoft has such a deep library, Bethesda has such a deep library. Who knows? It's that's the one you want to tune in for. If you're gonna miss everything, tune in for that show.
Yeah, tune in for Microsoft. I'm not sure what Microsoft is going to show, other than I'm fairly certain they're going to show more Halo.
Crazy amount of Halo. Yeah. Then we got Square Enix that same day. So what did you think? There's no time for it yet, so again, sign up for it so you can get those notifications. But what do you think is going to happen?
This is another wild card. Like, it's hard to tell because they have such a vast library of IP. They do remakes, and they do online games, and they do AAA, and they have said that Eidos Montreal is going to have a exclusive new world premiere.
That's awesome.
So I'm thinking from the games that they make, the biggest ones are Deus Ex and Tomb Raider. So I was already going to say maybe a new Tomb Raider. They're probably due for that anyways. But a Deus Ex would be awesome. It's been a little while for that one too.
It has been. So that'd be really cool.
So that's been there is going to be a world premiere. We don't know what it is. That's my speculation. And then, oh man, would I love some Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 details. It might be a little early for that, but they've only said a few things like in passing when people ask them about it. But I think we're ready to see something, at least like a real quick, trailer or something like that.
Yeah.
Even just in engine would be cool. It doesn't have to be gameplay, but that's what I want to see.
I think the Yuffie thing comes out really soon too, right?
Which thing?
That Intergrade one, the one that has like a small chapter with the Yuffie in it.
Yeah, that's just DLC for the game.
Gotcha.
And I'm excited about that too. And supposedly that's supposed to bridge the gap between the first part, the first remake part, and the second. I'm not even sure what they're gonna call it. It's gonna be remake together. Part 2.
I don't know, because they didn't even give it part 1 to that first part. So who knows? So I'm interested to see what they show. To me, these are kind of, again, just wishful thinking. Who knows if if these will ever come true prediction wise. I think Final Fantasy 9 remake would be fucking awesome. I think we're coming up on the 20th anniversary for Final Fantasy 11, so that I think will be possibly another way for them to have a showcase for that. Dragon Age 12.
Dragon Age or Quest?
Sorry, that's what I meant. Dragon Quest 12. I apologize. Dragon Quest 12. There was kind of a really cryptic trailer that came out with like the 12, but it was all written in like fire. It was like really crazy. So there was a really cryptic thing a couple months ago, a little trailer that came out for Dragon Quest 12. So there hasn't been any gameplay, there hasn't been any images. We're just, maybe possibly going to see something there. A Drakengard remake, which is part of that Nier series. It predates the Nier portion of it, but it's within that same realm. I think that would be really cool. Final Fantasy 1 remake, and a Chrono Trigger remake.
That would be
and
cool.
Then again, yeah, right. Oh, dude, Chrono Trigger remake would be fucking next level. Tomb Raider, again, I have that as well. I think that probably will get a thing. And then Octopath Traveler 2.
Yeah, I could see Octopath Traveler 2. That was doing really well.
Yeah,
the first one. Didn't they already remake Final Fantasy 1?
No, I mean they brought it, they ported it, but they've never remade it.
Didn't they make it for? I thought they remade it for mobile.
It's not remade again. It's just been ported. They made a
no. I thought it was like Chibi or something. Like didn't they remake it in Chibi for like
they made it for
iPhone
3
or something? Oh,
they remade 3 and they remade 4.
Okay.
They've not touched 1 or 2. 1 and 2 is like
there's so many games
school,
that they've made. It's ridiculous.
It is crazy.
It's hard to keep track of all the ones they've remade now.
For sure.
All right, and then lastly on same day, Sunday, June 13th, we've got Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment, who's also having a showcase.
Yep.
What do you think? Are we going to see new Mortal Kombat?
I don't know. I mean, Mortal Kombat movie just came out. It could just kind of ride in that coattail. Mortal Kombat came out like 5-6 years ago, so the 11. I actually kind of think Injustice 3 possibly, because cool. Injustice 2 came out back in like 2013, so I definitely think that. I think the Middle Earth games are probably done because the Gollum game's coming out pretty soon, so I don't think we'll see any Middle Earth games. But and I think Gotham Knights, typically that was talked about in DC convention last year, so that's supposed to come out in 2022, so I could see this being another opportunity for them to talk about it. But I think the big one that they've confirmed that they're going to be really showcasing is Back for Blood.
Yes, that's got to be certain, right? Actually, I'm pretty sure they did say that was going to be at the showcase.
Yep.
Yeah, Schmidt will be happy about that.
Yep. It'll be good to see that. I'm really excited about that.
It does look cool. All right, quickly, let's do Monday, June 14th. It's just an indie dev day with presentations from Mythical Games, Freedom Games, Razer, and Capcom. Capcom, not an independent studio.
No, so it's indie dev game, and then like these are a few that are actually beyond the scope of sort of an indie title.
Sure.
So they're just also packed in there as well as the indie dev game. So what about you? What are you thinking?
I don't have anything specific for this day, but I would be I'm really excited for it though, because I love me the indies. There's always guaranteed to be at least a couple of good gems in there.
Oh, for sure. Like I said, I'm really excited for Sable. I hope that game actually does truly come out, and that's why I've got that listed there. Children of Morta 2. That game, first off, Children of Morta was so amazing, so I would love for there to be a sequel. As far as Capcom, I'm thinking maybe a Resident Evil 4 remake.
Didn't they already announce that? Or did they say they were working on it?
I don't know if they did. I mean, just chronologically, they've done 2, they did 3. I would think 4 would be next, but I've not heard
maybe
anything.
They're just rumors then, but yeah, I think that is generally expected that they're going to remake it.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe possibly a Dragon Dogma 2. This is wishful thinking. Dragon Dogma 2.
That's fine. That's what this is for.
Right. I think that might be a new expansion because they just did the Iceblood expansion or Iceborne expansion for Monster Hunter World. So I could see another expansion for that. Possibly a Street Fighter 6 or a Devil May Cry 6. Those are my thoughts with just Capcom themselves.
I did actually enjoy Devil May Cry 5. I beat it, and it was actually cool. I hadn't really played any of the other ones in the series, but it was enjoyable.
Yes, I am. I'm very. I did like that. I actually liked. When Devil May Cry 5 was what it was coming out, I bought the 3-pack, like the first, second, and third game. I played through all 3 of them again just so I could be caught up with the story. Because it'd been such a long time since I played any Devil May Cry. So yeah, I could see 6 coming out, and that'd be a lot of fun.
Well, I'm most excited about, besides the Microsoft Bethesda, but Tuesday I'm most excited about, I think.
Yeah.
The annual Nintendo Direct and Nintendo Treehouse. So we're in a really interesting time because Nintendo's released a lot of games, but there's nothing really on the docket that we know is coming out really soon, except relatively within the next year or two, hopefully, should be Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping, I really think they need to show Breath of the Wild 2. It's been way too long. of them announcing it. I feel like it's, I'd have to fact check it, but I feel like it's been at least 4 years, if not more. How long has the Switch been out? Has that been out like 6 years?
2017. It just turned 4 back in February.
Okay, so I guess they've been talking about. They probably showed Breath of the Wild 2 in 2019 or something. Then
I want to say it was part of the Game Awards. Like they showed it. Jeff Keighley, I think, brought it up. It was like the way they ended the show one time, and it was like Breath of the Wild 2, and you're like, holy shit,
that was awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it'd be really great to finally see that. I think on mine as well too, I've got Switch Pro, which I've seen a few leaked images of it where like when you dock it, it doesn't have a front face cover or whatever like that. I don't know. It looks pretty trippy.
I haven't seen that.
There's an image that I saw just recently where it was like it just sits on like a platform, almost like it's resting on like a bench or something.
Nice.
But it doesn't have like a front, so like you see the screen and everything.
That's cool. I do also think they're going to show that too. I think that's inevitable, especially since all those rumors were coming out saying that it was they're going to show it.
Yeah,
I think it's very likely.
I was a little bummed that it didn't get showcased beforehand, like Nintendo didn't do anything before.
Yeah.
And they still could within the next couple of days, because there are probably games that are being developed by companies right now for the Switch Pro exclusively.
And they want to show it.
Yeah, and they want to show it. And if Nintendo's taking the last day, it's going to make it really difficult for them to be able to, like, not showcase that at their own thing. So I don't know. I'm thinking more of Splatoon 3. I know they showed like a trailer for that, I think last Game Awards. So I think that probably another Smash update with maybe a new character or two. Wishful thinking again, Xbox Pass coming to Switch. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe
that would blow my fucking mind. If they actually do that, I will lose my shit.
Can you imagine playing all the day one exclusive Microsoft games on a fucking Switch?
Nope.
Could you imagine playing Halo on your Switch?
No, I can't imagine any of that. And I just think that would be amazing.
Yep.
Now, so that would have to be coupled with xCloud also. Yep. So it would be really Game Pass via xCloud, because obviously you're not going to be able to download the games. Right. It would have to be streaming them. Yep. But, oh, man, that is so interesting and exciting.
Good.
Yeah,
I know. I also kind of think maybe we could see a new Super Mario game, a new Donkey Kong game, a new Mario Kart potentially, and new Mario Party.
Definitely due for a Mario Kart, because that came out for Wii U, and then they like basically just remade it for Switch.
So they did the exact same thing with Donkey Kong with Tropical Freeze.
Yep. So, and Mario too in general. Yep. Yeah. So I agree with all of that. I would like to see any of those things, and then of course I say it every year again. I really want to see Metroid Prime, but I won't be surprised if they skip it again. But they really need to show that game. I mean, they spent like 3 years, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, we scrapped it. And we're starting over." It's like, no, what the fuck? So it's gonna take like, it's gonna be like 8 years or something before it finally comes out from when they initially showed us the screenshot or the logo. Remember that?
Right.
That teaser. Yeah, that's annoying. But anyways, this could be the year. Could be the year.
Could be the year.
It could. I mean, show us something. Come on.
Right. Exactly. And then kind of round everything out. Again, these are the major publishers. We could definitely have some more, but Bandai Namco is also going to be presenting on that Tuesday as well. I'm not sure if they're going to be kind of rounding out the show, if there'll be other pre-shows or, other special guests or whatever, but they will also be presenting on Tuesday. What do you think, buddy? What do you think could come out of that?
Well, I'm hoping for a new Katamari. I always would like to see a new Katamari. They've been re-releasing them for a while, but I think it's been quite a while since they did a new one. Mm-hmm. At least a teaser for it would be nice, or at least tell me that you're working on one. I'll take that. Just say, hey, we're working on a new Katamari. Show me a logo. It's fine.
Right.
And then I would also lose my shit for Ni no Kuni 3. That would be pretty awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah, hell yeah. I think they've got a game that's already coming out here. I think in September. It's Tales of Arise, so I think that's probably going to be there. They always have like a Dragon Ball Z game coming out or an anime type of game coming out.
I can't even keep track of those.
They come out every year, like every 6 months. I feel like I'm getting a new DBZ game, so I think that'll be there. I could possibly see like either a Tekken 8 or a Soul Calibur 7 coming out, and possibly a Dark Souls 4, but also Elden Ring. That's the one that J.R.R. Martin has been like working with the story for. That one's been rumored for a while. We could possibly see, something coming out from that. So those are my predictions for Bandai Namco.
Nice. Any general predictions? I added this at the last minute, but so I'll go first, so it gives you time to think if you want. But I believe that we will see more info about the new Intellivision console, because there is something that I was reading about where Intellivision there's like I don't know if it's a conference or something, but they're going to reveal something, they've said, and I know they've been talking about it for a while. And my prediction is, if they do reveal it, it will absolutely suck.
Nice.
Yes, and it will die, just like all those other things. Did Atari ever come out with that system?
I don't know. I'm
not sure if it ever ended up coming out.
Yeah, it could be this year that they announce something. I don't know.
Could be. Well, that would be my other thing then. And then lastly, some video game journalism outlets are saying that not to expect very much from this E3. I disagree with that. I think, because of the pandemic last year, and it's given them more time to work on certain things that we would have expected them to announce last year, and since they didn't, I think we're ready to see a lot of this stuff. And we've seen a lot of things, a lot of people creating things remotely. Like we were talking about this off camera, where that Raya and the Last Dragon from Disney, that movie that just came out on Disney Plus, was pretty much all created remotely from multitude of people's houses. So yeah, I think they can still get stuff done, and I think we're going to see some big stuff. And even if we only get a Nintendo Switch Pro announcement and a couple of those other big things like Starfield, like gameplay and actual detailed in-depth information on that, and a couple of other things, I'll consider it a very successful and exciting E3 personally.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely. I think the only thing that, again, I'm really disappointed by is the fact that we didn't have anything from Sony. I know they walked away from it, before the pandemic. So like they weren't there for 2019, and then 2020 didn't happen because of the pandemic. And this is the first year back. I feel like I don't know, unless they're doing something special on the back end, I could see them kind of trying to be like the wild card and show up last second with like a state of play, like maybe running, side by side with Microsoft, and like kind of blow and kind of like try to steal the show. I don't know.
Well, they did do the Horizon showcase, the state of play, just recently.
They did,
so that was huge, and I feel like they were getting that out ahead of E3, so they could get capture some of that news media. And they might do something afterwards, but I'm not sure if they want to toss something into the ring when everyone else is too, because they might want to make sure that they can capture as many eyeballs as possible.
Right.
So,
I think the next biggest thing they're probably going to showcase is going to be God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the one that from all the polls that I've seen, that's the one that people keep talking about. So, again, wishful thinking. Sony shows up and cool. Has a 5-minute trailer or whatever like that of Ragnarok, and like just blows everyone's fucking mind.
That would be epic as hell. Like disrupt the news cycle.
Yep. Fucking aggro, bro.
Well, we will see. There's a lot of things that could happen that will be exciting. So
so we probably just kind of announce this right now. We're probably going to shoot for Sunday evening, just so that we can capture Microsoft, so that we're not trying to pack Microsoft and Nintendo for 2 weeks from now. So next weekend we'll cover the opening day and Sunday, and then the following week we'll cover Monday and Tuesday.
Yep. So if you're listening on Monday to the podcast for free, the audio version, that it will not affect you at all. But if you want to watch us live on Twitch, keep your schedules open for the evening rather than the morning, and join us and get it in on the conversation. It's going to be exciting.
Oh yeah, it'll be pretty much just live news that we're reporting on, which is actually really cool.
It's the real most wonderful time of the year, not Christmas.
It is.
That's not true. I love Christmas also, but. All right. Anyways, that's all we've got for you guys. Remember, Super Joystick Radio is a weekly show, usually, so please subscribe and leave a review on your favorite podcast application. iTunes. Become a patron at patreon.com/superjoystickradio. $1 gets you early access to the audio version of the show. $3 gets you exclusive access to the show notes and to the SJR Banter archives, where we have a bunch of stuff that's been cut from before, during, and after the show. Listen to that. Some of it's kind of funny. $5 also gets you the previous perks, a Discord badge on our Discord server, and a mention on the show. Shout-outs right now to our $5 patrons: Phil Lynch, Joe Halder, Rob Belchunas, Nick, last name not specified, Caitlin, Chrissy, Justin D, Maddie Deebs, C Fresh, and Jay. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Oh, no, I say it first. J. Schmed.
Lucio Main.
Nice. Someone's going to soundbite that and use it for something weird. I don't know.
I hope so.
All tiers also get you discounts in the merch store where you can find things like SJR hats.
Bobble hats.
You put them on your head and they just... Actually, I don't think you actually can't, unfortunately, get hats from our merch store, so we need to figure that out. I don't know why. Yeah. Teespring doesn't offer them, I don't think, but if you send your money to Justin, he'll make it for you.
I will.
It'll just add a couple of weeks to the turnaround time.
True.
But he'll sign it for you, too.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. Follow us on Twitter at SJoystickRadio. Follow us on Instagram at SuperJoystickRadio. Subscribe on YouTube for Let's Plays and streams. Sub to our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/SuperJoystickRadio. And you can visit our website, superjoystickradio.com, for all of our social media links. The merch store as mentioned. And you can join our Discord channel on there. Shout out right now to our awesome Discord channel and people on it. These guys and ladies are awesome. Always talking about video games, food that you're cooking each night, not safe for work memes. I love it. It's so good.
Great. It's a good community.
It certainly is. Yep. Leave us a text or a voicemail via the SJR hotline at 630-551-8898. That's 630-551-8898. Just shoot us a little text message. Say, hey, thanks for doing the show. We really love you. Or, you guys really suck. You should quit this shit right now. And either way, we'll do exactly what you say as long as you send us a text message.
You're right.
Get in on the conversation. We'd love to hear your feedback or topic ideas on any platform. Like a grade school birthday party, nobody leaves empty-handed. Here's your goodie bag for the week. Justin, what do you have for the good people?
Yeah, so the band Elder actually did a live show of a few songs from their newest album on YouTube just on Friday, and they posted it with a Q&A session afterwards. It's awesome. It's like 40 minutes long. They go through a few of the newest songs, and they fucking rock, and it's just some great fucking stoner metal. It's so good. So if you got a little moment, tune in for it because it's so good. You can find it. Enjoy.
Nice.
What about you, buddy?
Love that stoner metal. Is that what you said?
Stoner metal. Yes.
Very good.
What do you got, buddy?
Well, mine is the opposite of stoner metal. It's The Friends Reunion on HBO Max.
I'll be there for you.
Yeah, so it's good. I'm sorry. Friends is an awesome show. It's not a girl's show. It's not a guy's show. It's an everyone show. It's a friend's show.
It's a friend show.
It's a friend show. And The Friends
Grab
Reunion,
a friend and watch some Friends.
It's very good. It's got a lot of variety to it, and it's really cool to see them talk about their experiences and stuff. So check it out. It's on HBO Max. It's a Friends Reunion.
Nice.
All right.
Awesome.
That's what we've got for you guys this week. Thanks for listening. We love you, and we'll see you next week.
Goodbye.